Are we live? It looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pop Culture Asylum. I'm your host, Gabriel. I hope everyone's having a great day today. I definitely did, and I hope everyone who is watching this video is also having a great day as well. And it's Wednesday. You know what that means. AEW Dynamite was tonight. The 100th episode of AEW Dynamite tonight, and the go home show for AEW All Out, which is this Sunday. And this was one hell of a go home show. This was definitely one hell of a go home show. I definitely enjoyed every second of it. There was like one or two things that I really didn't like. But other than that, I thought this was a very strong show. And definitely one of the strongest like sorry. Definitely one of the strongest go home shows for a pay-per-view ever in the company's history, in my opinion. I thought this was a great show tonight. But of course, if you guys read the title, um that's not the only thing that I'm going to talk about tonight in this review. Of course, I'm going to go over AEW Dynamite tonight, but as you know, I'm going to do double duty, and I'm going to talk about my predictions for AEW All Out 2021. So not only am I reviewing AEW Dynamite tonight, but I'm also going to reviewing the AEW All Out 2021 show. So I'm definitely very excited for that. Can't wait to tell you my thoughts about what my predictions are going into the pay-per-view. And also, now I know usually we don't talk about WWE news. We don't talk about WWE news on AEW, but I feel like this story was big enough that I really need to address it and really need to put my thoughts into this. Okay? And that news is involving NXT. Okay? Now, right off the bat, like before I even talk about NXT, before I even talk about anything, I kind of want to address something which is a bit scary. Right now, it's current development, and I hope she's okay. I really hope she's okay. So, like, I was trying to set things up for this video, and apparently there's some very disturbing things going on with former TNA Impact superstar Daphne. And it like apparently she's like, from what I heard, like she was trying to commit suicide, and I seen like tweets from like Mick Foley and other wrestlers like trying to see if she's okay, and like trying to like you know trying to make sure she's okay basically. And like though like a part of me wanted to ignore it, but like yeah, I really hope Daphne's okay. I really hope she's okay. The last I heard, according to Sean Ross Sapp, like the authorities are already over there. I really hope Daphne's okay. I'm not gonna go into any more detail other than that. I'm really not. It's a very scary situation, and I really hope Daphne's okay. And for all you people watching, please have your thoughts and prayers be for that Daphne. I really hope she's okay. I really hope she's okay. Mental health is a very serious issue, and again, I really hope Daphne's okay. But that's basically all I'm going to talk about this situation. This situation is very serious. I'm just going to let it play out, and I hope she ends up okay. I really hope she ends up okay. Like it's a very scary situation. So thoughts and prayers go to Daphne. I really hope she's okay. I really hope she's okay. So that's basically all I got to say on that. I'm not going to go into any more detail on that. So now let's get on with the video. So right off the bat, let's talk about NXT. Now I'm reading the article from bleacherreport.com, and again, for all the articles, I always put the links in the description. So if you guys want to read the articles for yourself, the links are in the description. But basically, it's only one article from Bleacher Report, basically saying, and this is involving the state of NXT. And apparently, Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard would be the producers for the revamped NXT. Very scary situation, folks. Here's what it has to say. WWE Chairman, CEO Vince McMahon, and Executive Director of SmackDown and Raw, Bruce Pritchard, will produce the revamped version of NXT. Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer broke the news. Brian Rose of Wrestling Observer. It's going to be like the old NXT, Alvarez said. I have heard from several people now that when they go back to live shows, this is going to be a McMahon Pritchard production. Rose also relayed more information via Meltzer. Additionally, Dave Meltzer reports that McMahon and Pritchard will be behind the big decisions, not the little ones, and will be behind marketing, promotion, and direction, Rose wrote. Their role in booking may only be regarding those at the top. President and Chief Revenue Officer Nick Khan previously revealed to Ariel Hantawai of PT Sports on August 22nd that NXT would be going in a different direction. We're doing a complete revamp NXT led by Triple H. Obviously, that's not the case. But just to continue, who is really one of the architects of the original NXT, Kantos Hanawai. In terms of an NXT rebrand, look for it in the next couple weeks. It's going to have a whole new look. It's going to have a whole new feel. And as for what those changes may be, Paul Davis of Wrestling News Co. provided an idea for on August 15 after citing a report from Meltzer. The idea is to revert back to what NXT was several years ago when it was a true developmental brand. And McMahon wants to focus on signing younger wrestlers. And he wants to focus on signing wrestlers that looks like they can headline a WrestleMania. In other words, McMahon wants bigger wrestlers and he wants them to learn the WWE style and wrestle less like what is seen on the independent scene. And the NXT brand was introduced in February 2010. Multiple wrestlers who spent at least a few months there has become some of WWE's biggest current stars, including Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens. Obviously, that's not the case now. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, knowing the fact that Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard are now in charge of this new NXT, like, NXT's dead. NXT is basically dead. Okay, if this ends up being true, then NXT is just good as dead. Okay, like, come on. This is the same two people that is in charge of Monday Night Raw. Okay, which is the worst wrestling show on the planet right now. The worst wrestling show on the planet. Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard are basically the only ones in charge of it. Okay, and as you can see last Monday night, Vince McMahon ripped a lot of freaking scripts because it doesn't fit the mold for Vince McMahon. What was wrong with the original script? Raw was going to be shit anyways. Like, honestly. Okay, now Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard is going to be in charge of this new NXT. Are you shitting me? Oh my god. This is scary. This is some scary times. Okay? Like, first of all, the new NXT logo looks like it was made by Nickelodeon. Okay? It looked like a freaking kindergartner made it. It looks stupid. It looks stupid. Okay? Like look, like, you can look at the freaking, like, go online right now, right? Look up NXT's new logo. Okay, you're probably going to think it's fake, like seeing all the paint on the NXT logo, saying like, "Oh, this must be fake. WWE can't be this dumb, this stupid in making a shitty logo like that." But it's a real logo. It's a real logo, and they have been advertising it for a week now. And I'm sorry, it looks like shit. It looks like a freaking kindergartner made it. Not a good start. Then you hear that Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard is in charge of NXT, the same people that is in charge of Monday Night Raw. You know what's funny too? Do you know what's funny? And once this news came out, literally, like the number one trend that was trending for a little bit was RIP NXT. WWE has gone so shit, okay, that the WWE has lost the respect of its fans. Like they just lost the confidence of its fans to the point where the WWE fans literally had RIP NXT trending. Okay, there's no confidence in this company anymore. There's literally no confidence. There's no confidence in Vince. There's no confidence in Pritchard. There's no confidence in Khan and Laurinaitis and the entire company in general. Okay, WWE basically spat in the face of everyone who has been a fan of WWE. And again, you know that Monday Night Raw is absolutely shit. Okay, now just the fact that it's might be like it's more than likely confirmed that Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard is going to be the producers of NXT. Like really? Right? Oh my god. Like, bro, I just don't know what to say, man. I really don't know what to say. Okay, NXT is screwed. For the foreseeable future, NXT is screwed. The future of NXT is screwed. NXT may as well be good as dead. Okay? It's funny too because Vince McMahon and Nick Khan say oh, there's something wrong with the independent scene. There's something wrong with the future of this business. Like, what the hell's the problem with it? Honestly. And I like how Vince McMahon and Nick Khan and all the people in the WWE act as the independent scene. I like how they act like independent wrestling is like a bad word. What the hell is wrong with independent wrestlers? What is wrong with them? Honestly. Okay? Like, personally, if you go for independent wrestlers, right? If you hire independent wrestlers, number one, it would be way more efficient. Number two, it would save a lot more money. Okay? And, like, not like, come on, really? There's, like, I really don't get the mindset of this company. I really, really don't. Okay. I really feel bad. Like, I am literally worried about the future of like the Johnny Garganos, the Tommaso Ciampas, the Dakota Kais, the Candice LeRae's, the Io Shirai's, the Timothy Thasters, MSK, Pete Dunne, Kyle O'Reilly. I am worried about these guys. Okay. And like I'm worried about Raquel Gonzalez, Ember Moon, all the I am basically afraid for everyone on the NXT roster if this ends up being true. Okay? Like I won't be surprised that by the end of the year, the NXT roster as we see it right now, it's not going to be it because they're either going to be ruined on the main roster or WWE is going to straight up release them. And I won't be surprised that at the end of the year, okay, AEW, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and all these other promotions are going to end up having stronger rosters with these NXT talent. Because unfortunately, Vince McMahon and his senile ways, okay, the man with his ways being out of touch, you know damn well that 90% of that NXT roster is screwed. Like people like Johnny Gargano, Dexter Lumis, Tommaso Ciampa, Dakota Kai, Io Shirai. I am legit worried about these people's futures. I really, really am. I hope and pray this is not true. And what's scary is this is not a random person saying this. This is coming from Brian Alvarez, okay, who is one of the most reliable sources when it comes to speculation in professional wrestling. Okay, he's extremely reliable. He may be wrong on something, but he's mostly right 90% of the time. So this is one of the most scariest like stories I have ever heard. Okay. I hope and pray this is not true, but I won't be surprised if this ends up being true. And NXT, if this ends up being true, NXT is very well good as dead. Okay. And all of you people saying, like, oh, give it a chance. Give it a chance. Okay, I'm sure it'll be great. Give it a chance. Bitch, have you seen Monday Night Raw? Have you seen Monday Night Raw? Okay, just watch Monday Night Raw and you get a really good idea of what a Vince McMahon Bruce Pritchard NXT will look like. Okay, just watch Monday Night Raw right now. Okay, don't fucking tell me give it a chance when I gave Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard and the rest of the Raw creative team at least a couple of years to give them a chance. I gave them a chance for the last couple of years, and they keep getting worse and worse and worse. I am sick and tired of hearing, oh my God, okay, just give it a chance. Just give it a chance. I gave Vince, like Bruce Pritchard, WWE in general, a chance for the last couple of years. Okay, and all they have given us was nothing but dumpster fire after dumpster fire after dumpster fire. Okay, I have extremely low expectation. Again, I hope and pray this is not true. But if this ends up being true, NXT is basically good as dead. Okay, unbelievable. But like I know this is an AEW type review, but I just had to get that out there. I just had to put my 2 cents into this. But yeah, that's basically all I gotta say on NXT. So enough about the negative. Let's talk about the positive. I.e. AEW Dynamite. Once again, I thought AEW Dynamite was a very strong show tonight. Tonight's show was the 100th episode of AEW Dynamite. Congratulate, thank you, AEW. Congratulations. Why did I say thank you? Well, thank you, Tony Khan, for giving us a great federation in AEW. Thank you for giving us a great wrestling promotion. Thank you for giving us like the best alternative to WWE. Okay, and thank you, Tony Khan, and thank you, D Elite, for giving us the best wrestling promotion in the world right now. This was and so, congratulations to AEW for their 100 episode. Tonight was their 100 episode. And also, tonight's show was the go home show for AEW Dynamite for All Out, which is this Sunday, which I'm very, very excited for. But yeah, like this show was strong as hell. Again, there was like one or two things that I didn't like, but I'll get to that in a little bit because that was like a little bit later on in the show. But other than those two things that I will mention later on, I thought this was a very strong show. And honestly, this has two match of the year candidates, in my opinion. Okay, but without further ado, enough of me talking, enough of me rambling. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite tonight. So we start off the show hot, like really, really hot, as Santana and Ortiz and FTR run it back. They ran it back tonight. And my God, what a match. What a fucking match. Oh my God. This was tag team wrestling done right. And people say that tag team wrestling is not a draw. And WWE say tag team wrestling is not a draw. Bitch, if you do tag team wrestling correctly, okay, you end up with great shit like Santana and Ortiz versus FTR. And I just realized that my computer is about to die, so give me 1 second. This is a bit embarrassing. Give me a sec. Okay, there we go. Like, I just realized that my computer wasn't charging, and my computer was literally about to die. So, stream just end abruptly just like that. So, so there's that. Definitely saved the stream there. So Santana and Ortiz and FTR, once again, they put up a banger of a match. And if you guys didn't see AEW Dynamite tonight, first of all, I do recommend you go do that. It's definitely a great show tonight. Definitely a strong show in both a wrestling aspect, for the most part, and a promo aspect. The promos on this show were absolutely fire tonight. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I'll talk about it when I talk about it. But yeah, this was a great opener. This was a great opener. This was tag team wrestling at its freaking finest. Santana and Ortiz and FTR is two of the best tag teams in the world currently, and rightfully so. The storytelling was freaking great. So, in case you guys have been living under a rock, of course, in their last encounter at Fight for the Fallen, I believe it was like 2 weeks ago, when the match had to abruptly end because Cash Wheeler got his arm cut during the matchup by the pole of the ring. So I'm glad that Cash Wheeler is okay. But I like the story of FTR like trying to get their revenge by trying to injure Ortiz's arm. Like, I really like that storytelling there. And again, the storytelling was just fucking phenomenal in this match. Literally, me trying to explain it would not do it any justice. I do recommend go out of your way to watch this matchup. This was a great matchup. Definitely a match of the year candidate, in my opinion. Santana and Ortiz actually picks up the victory over FTR in one hell of a matchup. Again, I do recommend you go out of your way to watch this matchup. This was definitely a phenomenal matchup, in my opinion. Definitely a hot way to start off the show. After that, we get Daniel Garcia and 2.0 having a promo. And by the way, it was a great promo. And of course, it was announced that this Friday, Darby Allin will face Daniel Garcia on AEW Rampage. But it looks like in their promo, they said that we will do whatever it takes to ruin this matchup between CM Punk and Darby Allin. And that is an important line, and you will find out why in a little bit. After that, we get CM Punk once again, baby. And CM Punk actually put up a great promo. I really like the detail where CM Punk said like, are you getting tired of me coming out every single week? Like, because basically AEW has been doing this nonstop, like giving us CM Punk appearance after CM Punk appearance after CM Punk appearance. Like, this is like, I believe, the third, fourth time that we're seeing CM Punk. And even CM Punk acknowledged this. And I'm not complaining. Like, I'm not doing it as a negative. I'm not saying it that as a negative thing. Okay, more CM Punk, please, because I fucking love CM Punk. He's definitely one of my favorites of all time. But yeah, CM Punk like put up a great promo. I really liked how he just understood the audience and really took a shot, just a little fun shot, a little bit of AEW trying to milk the CM Punk cow a little bit, which is totally understandable because again, CM Punk coming back to professional wrestling after 7 years is a big fucking deal. Like any wrestling promotion will milk the shit out of a CM Punk appearance. Okay, so yeah. So after that, during his great promo, by the way, 2.0, Daniel Garcia and 2.0 attacked CM Punk. Like CM Punk saw them. CM Punk was actually getting physical. This was the first time since 2014 that CM Punk actually got physical with someone. But of course, it was 3-1 advantage. 2.0 Daniel Garcia were attacking CM Punk. Then all of a sudden, Sting and Darby Allin came for the stage. Of course, they attacked 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. And of course, Darby Allin did the coffin drop, Sting did the scorpion dead drop, and CM Punk did the GTS. And how did it look? It looked great. It looked great. That was the first time in 2014 that CM Punk did a fucking GTS, and it looked great. It looked great, in my opinion. And then they took out 2.0 out the ring. CM Punk and Darby Allin actually got face to face, which was hyped as hell. Like, this was freaking great. Like, this was amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay. But then Sting kind of intervened a little bit, saying like, "Oh, it's nice to share the ring with you," and like it was such a great moment. And basically during this promo, Sting basically just barred himself out of the matchup for All Out this Sunday. He said that Darby Allin will be ready, but I will not be in his corner. I want this to be a fair one-on-one fight. So basically, Sting took him out, basically banned himself from the matchup, and like, yo, like this was a phenomenal segment. Like this was a great, great segment. Like you should go out of your way to watch this segment specifically. CM Punk looked great. The stare down looked great. CM Punk GTS looks great. And it was an amazing segment. I did go out of your way to watch this segment. Definitely. Like literally me explaining it would not do it any justice. Like, my God, what a phenomenal segment. After that, we get a Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. We get a Kenny Omega and Christian Cage hype vignette for their matchup this Sunday at All Out. So I'm definitely excited for that. Very good vignette, in my opinion. After that, speaking of amazing, okay, we get an interview with MJF, and holy shit. Oh my God. What have I said on this channel that hasn't already been said before? MJF is just like by mic promos, like just by promos alone. MJF is literally one of the best, if not the best, in the world in terms of promos. Like this was phenomenal, a phenomenal promo. Basically comparing Chris Jericho to Ali, and basically saying like both of you are obsolete, and like bro, oh my god, go out of your way to watch MJF's promo. All I gotta say is this: MJF is the greatest heel of the modern era. And I can confidently say that. MJF is the greatest heel of the modern era. Okay? That's just facts. That is just facts, my man. MJF is without a doubt the greatest heel of the modern era. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. But yeah, great, great stuff by MJF. Definitely a fire promo, and I do recommend you go out of your way to watch MJ. Matter of fact, go out of your way to watch this show tonight. This was just an incredible show, in my opinion. After that, we get Orange Cassidy going one-on-one against Jack Evans. And of course, before the matchup even started, Matt Hardy attacked Orange Cassidy, basically giving Orange Cassidy a disadvantage. And of course, the matchup happened. And I thought this was a fairly good matchup. Something that was very unique in this matchup was that Orange Cassidy managed to pick up the victory over Jack Evans during the picture in picture. Like I'm not gonna lie, I was trying to get some water a little bit, but yeah, like this was completely out of nowhere. And like honestly, I kind of like it because it really goes to show the unpredictability of picture in picture. Like I didn't expect this matchup to like be cut short in picture, but that's definitely what we got. So Orange Cassidy picks up the victory over Jack Evans in a roll up. After that, the Hardy family office and Matt Hardy attacked Orange Cassidy. Best friends try to go for the save. Wheeler Yuta and Chucky T. Chuck Taylor. They attacked Orange Cassidy, but then Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, Marco Stunt, and Luchasaurus came for the save, helping Orange Cassidy out. Of course, the Hardy family office retreats. Nothing too crazy. It looks like we might get the Hardy Family Office versus Jurassic Express. It looks like the AEW might rekindle that rivalry. So, and it kind of makes sense that Jurassic Express saved Orange Cassidy, considering that Jurassic Express and the Hardy Family Office had a lot of history with each other. So yeah, like I thought this was a fine segment, in my opinion. I thought this was just very good stuff. After that, we get another vignette hyping up another matchup that I'm really excited for, and that's Miro and Eddie Kingston. They will be vying for the TNT Championship this Sunday at All Out, and the promos, mwah 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 mwah. My God, the promos between these two, just by this vignette alone, holy shit. Holy shit. Like Eddie Kingston, first of all, he is just phenomenal on the mic. Not as phenomenal as MJF, but he's up there. He's freaking up there. Like I freaking love Eddie Kingston. He is my boy. Okay, and I am very excited for this matchup between Eddie Kingston and Miro. Like this is gonna be just a straight up knockout fight, and I am all in for it. I am all in for it, in my opinion. So definitely excited for that. After that, we get another vignette, hyping up Jon Moxley versus Satomi Kushima from New Japan Pro Wrestling. And that's gonna be a really good match. I did see a couple of Satomi Kashima's matches, and he's really good. He's really good. I won't say like he's the greatest or anything, but he's not like a bad wrestler either. Like he's really good. Like he put up some really good matches, and I think Moxley and Kojima are gonna put up a really good matchup at All Out, in my opinion. After that, we get an interview with Chris Jericho, which JR actually did the interview, which I thought was really cool. So Chris Jericho comes out, he does an incredible promo, basically saying like, "Oh, like this may be my final stand, but if I'm going down, I'm going down fighting. And MJF, if you want to retire me, then you're gonna have to pull out all the stops and you're gonna have to bring your 100% because Jericho is gonna bring his 100% at All Out." And I actually got a very bold prediction about this matchup, but we'll talk about it in a little bit when we talk about the predictions for All Out. But yeah, I thought this was a great promo by Chris Jericho. And like again, the promos tonight, the promos and vignette to hype up the matches are just phenomenal. Phenomenal. Speaking of phenomenal vignettes, we get a vignette by Darby Allin hyping up the matchup for CM Punk. And again, I thought this was another vignette. Again, just go out of your way to watch this show. This was a really great show tonight. Really great show tonight, in my opinion. After that, we get Brian Cage versus Will Hobbs. And again, I thought this was a great match. Very great match. It's basically the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object. And my God, these two monsters literally beat the living hell out of each other. I thought this was a great match. Brian Cage, in the final few minutes of the matchup, Brian Cage actually got hit by Ricky Starks with the FTW belt, knocking him out, basically costing him the match, giving the win to Will Hobbs. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit surprised. I thought Brian Cage was going to pick up the victory, but I didn't mind Will Hobbs picking up the victory. I thought this was a great matchup by both men, and Will Hobbs definitely deserved the victory right here. Congratulations to Will Hobbs, and it looks like the rivalry still continues between Brian Cage and Team Taz. After that, we get another vignette by Malachi Black calling out Lee Johnson. And speaking of that, this Friday on Rampage, Malachi Black will go after another member of the Nightmare Family in Shorty and the Shorty G, and so I think his nickname is Shorty G. Um, Lee Johnson. So yeah, that's gonna be a very good match. After that, we get probably one of the weakest segments of the show, which was QT Marshall and the Factory and the Paul White segment. So QT Marshall and the entire Factory are in the ring. QT Marshall calls out Paul White. Paul White comes out, basically takes down the entire Factory. It was a pointless segment. The Gun Club comes out. Um, Billy and his sons. I forgot his son's name. I believe Colton and Austin Gunn. That's basically I think that's their sons' names. So they come out for extra assistance. QT Marshall is shocked. He wants nothing to do with Paul White or the Gun Club. And then all of a sudden, Billy Gunn turned heel. The entire Gun Club turned heel, and Billy Gunn hit Paul White with the chair, taking out Paul White. And basically, the Gun Club leaves. The Gun Club basically turned heel, which was very shocking, but at the same time, also very confusing as well. And then QT Marshall picks up the scraps, and as he does a diamond cutter to Paul White, making his statement for his matchup against Paul White at All Out. And yeah, like nothing too crazy. It wasn't like one of the worst segments I ever seen, but I just thought this segment was completely unnecessary. But then again, this entire rivalry between Paul White and QT Marshall is completely unnecessary. Like, honestly, who even asks for a Paul White QT Marshall rivalry? And now the guns are involved, and like, really? Like, really? That's just I don't know. I just don't know. But yeah, that's basically the segment. It's not terrible. Again, it's not one of the worst segments I ever seen, but it was basically completely unnecessary, in my opinion. After that, we get an interview by Britt Baker. And a matter of fact, during the Brian Cage Will Hobbs match, it was announced that Tony Schiavone, that Britt Baker had a special announcement about a free agent coming to AEW. And when I heard this, I thought a certain Baby was coming to AEW, and it was going to be announced by Britt Baker. Like, I mean, like, why else would Britt Baker announce a free agent coming to AEW? And of course, Adam Cole and Britt Baker are boyfriend and girlfriend, so it makes sense. So the interview comes, and of course, it's been announced by Baker that of course Chris Statlander will face both Rhea and Jamie Hayter this Friday on Rampage in a 2-on-1 handicap match. But it was also the free agency that basically Britt Baker said it was basically Britt Baker signing a long-term contract for AEW once again. Like, obviously, like, Britt Baker's the AEW Women's Champion. We all knew Britt Baker was a part of the AEW roster. So, like, yeah, basically Britt Baker trolled us. Like, she basically trolled us all. But yeah, but it just goes to show, like, Britt Baker, like, this might be a little more important segment than anticipated, because this might be a big teaser for Adam Cole coming to AEW. Like, why else would AEW do that? Why else would they let Britt Baker do all of that if this wasn't a teaser for Adam Cole coming to AEW? I think AEW knew once Britt Baker did that tweet about, like, oh, she's gonna make a big announcement for the free agency, that basically everyone jumped into conclusions that it was Adam Cole. But obviously AEW and Britt Baker played us, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, like, this was a big tease. Like, AEW know how to play us. And oh my god, AEW, 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 man. I love you, AEW, like honestly. But that's basically all I gotta say on that. After that, we got Ty Conti, the returning Ty Conti, baby, going against Penelope Ford. It was a decent match. It was pretty decent, nothing too crazy. The first few minutes though was kind of hard to watch, and it wasn't Ty Conti's fault. It was actually more Penelope Ford's fault. Like I'm not gonna lie, ever since Penelope Ford made her return, I've been kind of disappointed by Penelope Ford's performance. Like she has been, I'm not gonna lie, she has been getting progressively worse and worse. Like she's not Eva Marie type bad, but man, like she's been progressively getting worse and worse, in my opinion. Like Penelope, like it all started with the Thunder Rosa match. Like something was very wrong because, like before, Penelope Ford went for that small break. Like Penelope Ford was a great wrestler, like really, really great. But then all of a sudden, she made her return, and like she's been progressively getting worse, and like she needs to polish her wrestling ability a little bit because my god, holy crap, like Penelope, I love you, but you need to polish your wrestling a little bit because it has been like not good these last couple of weeks. Okay, again, Penelope, wrestling is not terrible. It's not Eva Marie bad, but it's getting there. So yeah, Penelope, I love you, and as a fan of you, you need to polish your wrestling a little bit. But again, the final few minutes I thought was really great. Ty Conti takes down Penelope Ford, which again it was a decent match. The first few minutes was hard to watch, but after that it started to pick up, and yeah, it ended up being a decent match. After that, basically like the bunny, Ali and Penelope Ford was attacking Ty Conti, but then Anna Jay, who has been out with I believe a wrist injury, made her return, saving her bestie from Penelope Ford and the bunny. Anna Jay is back. Welcome back, Anna Jay. I definitely miss you. Welcome back. Awesome, awesome stuff. And it was also been announced by the commentary team that Anna Jay is going to be a part of the Casino Battle Royal this Sunday at All Out. So I'm definitely excited. Welcome back, Anna Jay. Very, very nice. After that, we get an interview by Thunder Rosa, basically saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna do great in the Casino Battle Royal. I'm gonna give it my all." But then all of a sudden, Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill took down Thunder Rosa, basically beat the living hell out of Thunder Rosa, taking her out for just like that. And it looked like Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill was going to fight, but obviously that was not the case. Like the managers just separated the two, basically saying, "Hey, save it for All Out, okay? Save it for All Out." So yeah, like this women's casino battle royal is setting up to be a great battle royal. Like you got Jade Cargill, Nyla Rose, Anna Jay's back, Layla Hirsch, Thunder Rosa. I heard Big Swole was going to be in the match. Like this, and of course the Ruby Soho, like potentially being in this matchup. I'm really excited. I'm very excited. So after that, we before I talk about the main event, because that's obviously after that, we need to talk about what's happening on Rampage this Friday, and of course what's happening next week. So basically, the matches that have been announced for Rampage this Friday is of course CM Punk is going to make his appearance one more time before his match against Darby Allin at All Out. We're also going to hear from the TNT champion Miro himself. We're also going to get Darby Allin versus Daniel Garcia, Malachi Black versus Lee Johnson, and Chris Statlander versus Ali and Penelope Ford in a 2-on-1 handicap matchup. So a fairly stacked show for Rampage this Friday. And of course, the only thing that has been announced for next week's show was basically a homecoming for Jon Moxley. So that's the only thing that has been announced for next week's show. Now, let's talk about the main event because holy shit. Holy shit. Like, this was an 8-man tag team match as the Young Bucks and Gallows and Anderson went against the Lucha Brothers, Miedo, and Jurassic Express. And holy shit. Oh my god, what a match. Like, oh my god. Basically, to keep this short and sweet, this 8-man tag team match is a match of the year candidate, in my opinion. This was a match of the year candidate, and I do recommend you go out of your way to watch this 8-man tag team match. This was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Everything was great. Like, everything flowed so well. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. This is such good shit. Like, this was actual good shit. Okay, the Elite actually picks up the victory when Mad Nick Jackson took down Ray Felix. But yeah, go out of your way to watch this matchup. This was a great match. A phenomenal matchup to end the show. A phenomenal main event and definitely a match of the year candidate in my opinion. I never thought that a 8-man tag team match would be on my match of the year candidate list, but holy shit. Okay, all 8 men definitely delivered tonight. Awesome, fun way to end the show. After that, Kenny Omega comes out. The Elite basically just destroy Jurassic Express. And in matter of fact, Kenny Omega asks for the steel cage to be lowered. The steel cage is lowered, and Christian Cage, who actually tried to come for the save, obviously ended up in failure because the Elite is basically 5-on-1. And Christian Cage and the Lucha Bros got basically is trapped inside the steel cage with the Elite. Of course, Jurassic Express, Frankie Kazarian, Dante Martin, Marco Son all try to climb up the cage, but Brandon Cutter is spraying them with Elite spray, and like basically they cannot get in to help the Lucha Bros and Christian Cage as the Elite just destroys. Like, they basically destroy Christian Cage and the Lucha Bros. And what a way to end the show for All Out. What a statement made by the Elite for their opponents for All Out. Okay, the Elite, they are one of the best factions in pro wrestling right now, in my opinion. That may be a bit of a hot take because, again, some people love the Elite, some people hate the Elite. But in my personal opinion, I think the Elite is one of the best factions. Like, they are up there on par with the Bloodline. They haven't gone past the Bloodline, but basically the Bloodline and the Elite are even with each other, in my opinion. But yeah, I thought it was a great way to end the show. Great visual. Basically having the Elite on top. But overall, I thought this was a great show. I thought this was a great show tonight. Again, there's like 2 things that I wasn't really crazy about, but everything else, holy shit, this was a strong show. And WWE, you should take notes because this is how you do a go-home show for a pay-per-view, giving us great wrestling plus great promo / vignette packages to hype up the matches for All Out. This show tonight is a fucking blueprint on how to make a go-home show and how to make a go-home show exciting for the pay-per-view. Okay, awesome show by AEW. But now it's time. It's time to go over my predictions for AEW All Out 2021. And without further ado, let's talk about basically my predictions for the All Out card. But here we go. So now, before I talk about the predictions, obviously there was one match that was supposed to happen at All Out between Andrade El Idolo and Pac, but according to travel issues, basically by travel issues, um the matchup is not happening at All Out, which is a damn shame because that was one of the matches I was really looking forward to. Like, really, really looking forward to. But basically, Tony Khan said that the matchup is going to happen in a future Rampage episode. And, like, if the matchup's not happening at All Out, that matchup at least deserves the main event Rampage because, like, my God, you're talking about a match of the year candidate right there between Andrade El Idolo and Pac. And like let me tell you the tweet. So let me go to Twitter right now. Let me go to Twitter right now. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I saved it on my profile page. So I'm going right here. I'm trying to find the tweet. Trying to find the tweet, baby. I'm trying to find the tweet, baby. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I saved the tweet. Hold on. Let me try to find it. Hold on. Give me a sec. Okay, right here. So basically, this is coming from Tony Khan himself. Thank you to you fans supporting AEW Dynamite live next on TNT. Royal Witch's book on the buy-in will now be featured on the All Out pay-per-view card. Due to travel issues, the Pac versus Andrade El Idolo bout is postponed until a future AEW Rampage. So yeah, basically from the man Tony Khan himself, basically due to travel issues, Pac versus Andrade will basically be postponed to an AEW Rampage. Now, again, it's a damn shame that the matchup is not happening and All Out, which sucks. Okay, but at least Tony Khan is being transparent with us. Unlike another millionaire, but yeah, I'm glad that Tony Khan is being truthful and being transparent with us. Thank you, Tony Khan. Much appreciated. And again, I like if they're not gonna fight All Out, they deserve to at least main event a Rampage. Matter of fact, let the main event a Dynamite. Like, why not? I think that matchup would be fire for a main event of Dynamite, in my opinion. So unfortunately, that matchup between Pac and Andrade will not happen at All Out. Now, other than that, let's talk about my predictions for AEW All Out 2021. Now, right off the bat, let's talk about the Casino Battle Royal for the women and the winner gain a future shadow shot at the AEW Women's Championship. Obviously, there's a lot of ladies in this matchup. Layla Hirsch, Abaddon, Killian Kane, Thunder Rosa, Jay Cardhill, Anna Jay, Ty Conti. Like, you got all these ladies and a potential Ruby Soho coming to AEW. Like, that's rumored. Like, basically, she's AEW bound, and I cannot wait to see her this Sunday. Hopefully, we see her this Sunday. But who do I think is going to win this Casino Battle Royal? Honestly, I got two. Either Ruby Soho or Thunder Rosa. Okay. I think either way, I think they're going to be both of those programs against Britt Baker are going to be very strong programs for the ladies. Like Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa, we already know the history between those two ladies. Like, and I basically I'm going to see the matchup again this time for the AEW Women's Championship. Imagine the rivalry of that magnitude for the AEW Women's Championship between those two ladies. Like, yo, they're gonna tour the house down just like they did last time. And Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho. We all know how great Ruby Soho is. And I don't mind putting Ruby Soho in the championship line like in the championship program right off the bat with Britt Baker. I think that would be a great program in and of itself. So personally, for my prediction on who's winning this casino battle royal for the women, I think is either Thunder Rosa or Ruby Soho. After that, we get Paul White versus QT Marshall. And honestly, I think this is going to be a squash match in my personal. Actually, after what happened tonight, like, I don't think it might be a squash match, which is unfortunate. Okay, because I wanted this matchup to be a squash match, and that's it. Like that, this matchup shouldn't be longer than like at least 2 minutes. Okay, this matchup shouldn't be on the card, period. Okay, but honestly, I think Paul White is going to get the victory over QT Marshall. I think that's pretty obvious. Hopefully, it ends up being a squash match. After that, we got Jon Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima. And who do you think I'm going to win? Who do you think is going to win this match? In my opinion, I think it's Jon Moxley. I think Jon Moxley is going to pick up the victory. I do think this is going to be a really good matchup. Definitely a hard-hitting matchup. But I'm going to have to go with Jon Moxley here. Like, I think Jon Moxley is going to definitely pick up the W over Satoshi Kojima. After that, we got the AEW TNT Championship on the line as Miro defends it against Eddie Kingston. This is going to be a fight. This is going to be just a straight up fight. And I am very excited for it. But who do I think is going to walk out as TNT champion? I'm going to have to go with Miro. As much as I love Eddie Kingston, as much as I love my boy, and as much as he deserves the TNT championship, I'm going to have to go with Miro. Like, right now, it's just way too early to take the title off of Miro, in my opinion. And again, this is going to be one hell of a fight. And Eddie Kingston is probably going to basically going to put Miro to his limit since Lance Archer. So, yeah, though it's going to be one hell of a fight. And Eddie Kingston is going to give Miro like one of the biggest fights of his life. I do think Miro is going to walk out as TNT champion. After that, we get the AEW Tag Team Championships being on the line in a steel cage match as the Young Bucks defends them against the Lucha Brothers. And first of all, I'm just going to say right now, like, this is going to be a match of the year candidate. This is going to definitely be a match of the year candidate, in my opinion. But who do I think is going to win this matchup? Honestly, I see the Young Bucks retaining. Like, to be perfectly honest with you, I see the Young Bucks retaining over the Lucha Brothers. It's going to be one hell of a matchup. Like, it's going to be one hell of a matchup. But I'm going to have to go with the Young Bucks on this one. I think they're going to retain the AEW Tag Team Championships. After that, we get the AEW Women's Championship on the line as Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defends it against Chris Statlander. Who do I think is going to win this matchup? I think this is going to be a really good matchup, in my opinion. But the woman that I think is going to walk out is basically Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She's way too big right now. And I just think it's a wrong. I just think it would be a bad move by AEW if AEW takes the title off of Britt Baker, considering how hot she is right now. And I'm not saying sexy, even though Britt Baker is pretty sexy. Please don't kill me, Adam Cole. I'm just admiring your hot girlfriend. But yeah, like, she's just hot. Like, she is like one of the most over women. Okay, not just in AEW. No, she's the most over women in AEW, but one of the most over women in pro wrestling when it comes to female ladies currently right now. So yeah, I think Britt Baker is definitely walking out as AEW Women's Champion. After that, we got Chris Jericho versus MJF. If Chris Jericho loses, he can wrestle in AEW again. And, like, of course, a lot of people are saying that, of course, like, MJF has 3 victory over Chris Jericho. More than likely AEW is going to give Chris Jericho at least 1 victory. But I said this before in my AEW Dynamite review last week that, like, even though, like, I could see AEW giving the win to Jericho, and I won't be surprised if Jericho wins. But considering the promo, and of course, Chris Jericho, like what is there to do for Chris Jericho left in AEW? Like Chris Jericho is the first ever AEW World Champion. He already made a bunch of stars in MJF, Proud and Powerful, Jake Hager, and Sammy Guevara. Okay, like, and not to mention that he's already going down as an AEW legend. So what is there left to do for Chris Jericho? Like, I'm gonna go with a bold prediction here, and I might be wrong because again, the majority might think Chris Jericho will win this matchup, and I could definitely see that. But I'm gonna go with a bold prediction, and I think Maxwell Jacob Freeman is going to win this matchup. And like, as much as I love Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho has a legendary career, Chris Jericho will go down as one of the greatest of all time. But I just don't see like what's next for Chris Jericho after AEW after this matchup with MJF. Honestly, if he were to win, what is next for Chris Jericho? Like, I don't know. Like, something tells me that this may be Chris Jericho's final matchup. Okay, as much as I love Chris Jericho, I just don't see like why Chris Jericho would wrestle in AEW anymore. Like he's already an AEW World Champion, not to mention the first ever AEW World Champion. Like he's already an AEW legend. Again, he made stars. He made a good amount of stars with MJF, Jake Hager, Proud and Powerful, and Sammy Guevara. Okay, so again, I'm going to go with a bold prediction here. Again, I might be wrong, but that's why it's pretty bold. I'm going to go with MJF, in my opinion. I think MJF is going to pick up the victory over Chris Jericho. Now, after that, we get CM Punk versus Darby Allin. Now, honestly, as like, first of all, this is going to be a match of the year candidate. I cannot wait for CM Punk versus Darby Allin. This is going to be a great matchup. And again, this is a big deal because this is the first time since 2014 that CM Punk is making his wrestling return to the ring. Now, who do I think is going to win this matchup? I think that CM Punk is going to win. Like, more than likely. As much as I love Darby Allin, I think CM Punk is going to win. Okay, I think it would be cool if AEW gave the win to Darby Allin. But then again, this is CM Punk's first matchup back in professional wrestling. I just don't see CM Punk losing. I think CM Punk is definitely going to pick up the victory, in my opinion. And for some of you worrying about, oh, like this might ruin the momentum of Darby Allin. No, it won't. Like, first of all, just the fact that Darby Allin is CM Punk's first opponent after 7 years is a big fucking deal. Okay, so you know that Darby Allin, just from that alone, Darby Allin, like, it's a big deal for Darby Allin. Okay, so him, like, win, lose, or draw, like, I think Darby Allin, like, just the fact that Darby Allin is even getting a major rub from a big star like CM Punk is a big deal for Darby Allin. Okay, and I'm sure CM Punk is going to do what he can to make Darby Allin look incredible in the ring. Like, I'm sure it's not going to be a freaking squash match. If it ends up being a squash match, then we're going to have a problem. Okay, but like, again, win, lose, or draw, like, I think Darby Allin's going to be perfectly fine. But I think CM Punk is definitely going to take the victory, in my opinion. And then after that, we get the main event. Well, possibly the main event. Personally, I think CM Punk versus Darby Allin should be the main event. But this might be the main event as well. Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. Oh, sorry. Now, this is another matchup that has the potential to be a match of the year candidate. And I fully expect it to be. Like, they put up a banger of a matchup on Rampage a couple of weeks ago for the Impact World title. Imagine what they're going to do on pay-per-view for the AEW World Championship. And though it's going to be a very incredible matchup, I'm going to have to go with Kenny Omega. I think Kenny Omega's reign is going to continue. And again, it would be smart to keep the title on Omega until Hangman Page comes back, and Hangman Page defeats Kenny Omega to become AEW World Champion. Like, it only makes sense for Hangman Adam Page to dethrone Kenny Omega, not Christian Cage. As much as I love Christian Cage, no, he's not the right man to dethrone Kenny Omega. Hangman Adam Page is. Okay, so I'm so excited for this matchup between Kenny Omega and Christian Cage. They're definitely going to tear the house down. But I think Kenny Omega should retain the AEW World Championship this Sunday at All Out. But that's basically all I got to say on that. My God, this was one of the longest videos I have ever done. We talked about Dynamite. We went over my predictions for AEW for All Out. We talked a little bit about NXT. This was a very long video. Very, very long video. Probably one of the longest videos I have done in a while. So if you guys still stayed around for the entire thing, thank you so much. Much, much appreciated. Really, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for showing your support. And yeah, thank you so much for listening for what I had to say. And yeah, much, much appreciated. But if you guys like this video, make sure you leave a like, make sure you leave a comment. And I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. Are you guys excited for All Out? I want to hear some of your predictions for All Out. But are you excited for All Out? Did you think AEW Dynamite was a good show tonight? What do you guys think about the state of NXT? I want to know what you guys think in the comments section about all the stuff that I explained in this video. But again, if you guys like this video, make sure you leave a like, make sure you leave a comment, and if you guys like the content that I make sure you subscribe and leave the notification bell so that way you don't miss any of my videos. And of course, as long as nothing big happens this week, expect my next video to be the All Out review. I would definitely review AEW All Out. That will more than likely be the next video. So make sure you keep on the lookout for that. And until next time, this is Gabriel, and I'll see you next time in the asylum. Have a nice night, everyone.